The game today that we are about to feature will be Dallas Vancouver for the American League, both teams, and it is Vancouver's ball to set on the floor, on the loose, and the game just starts. Vancouver teams manages to push forward the ball from the center of the field. They are making an early advance. They go into the offensive line. They shoot, and the ball goes into the hands of Dallas goalkeeper. Still a fairly dangerous situation for starting. Hopefully this game is being recorded properly because we have had a good time on the last one, and even though Dallas pushes forward into the offensive line and it's being stopped short by Vancouver's offensive line, nevertheless the ball is being heavily contested on that area and it goes into the hands of the Vancouver's goalkeeper. Both these teams are playing very aggressively on the first half. They are not holding back even a bit. Dallas recovers the ball on the offensive line. They shoot, and the ball stops, but it's set loose again. Dallas recovers the ball on the offensive line, but it's stopped short by Vancouver's goalkeeper. The ball finds its way back into the center of the field, where Vancouver's middle line is trying to push forward into the offensive line. But it's finding heavy opposition by Dallas middle field. Vancouver pushes the ball forward but finds no reception other than Dallas' defensive line. The ball goes back into the center of the field. Dallas team manages to recover the ball in the center of the field, but they're stopped short, and Vancouver takes recovery of the ball again. Goes back into the center of the field. Vancouver recovers the ball in the center of the field, pushes forward into the offensive line. Now, hold on just a second. Ball is recovered back by the Dallas team, pushing back in the center of the field. Ball goes into the offensive line of the Dallas team. Ball is heavily contested on the center of the field, but it goes back into Dallas defensive line. Dallas manages to push forward and is recovered by Vancouver's offensive line. The ball finds its way into Dallas offensive line and is cleared out by Vancouver's goalkeeper. They shoot, and the ball gets stopped just right before it manages to enter into the goal area, but the goalkeeper is down and the ball cannot be stopped. Dallas manages to make a goal out of that situation. There's a definition done with a head goal, the head shot. Closing now into the second minute of game, the score goes Dallas 1, Vancouver's 0. Vancouver pushes forward into the offensive line, but is stopped short by Dallas defensive. Dallas pushes the ball into the offense. Oh, and the ball is stopped there by Vancouver's goalkeeper. The ball goes into the center of the field. It's on the loose. And Vancouver recovers the ball. They're pushing forward into the offensive line. They shoot, and the ball gets stopped by Dallas goalkeeper. They shoot again, and they push forward. What an amazing rebound! And Vancouver manages to get to the final. It was a spectacular performance done by the goalkeeper nonetheless. Let us watch the replay on that. It was not only one time that they managed to make the shot, but immediately a second time, which was also stopped. But on the third occasion, well, it just was too much. And Vancouver manages to open the score for them with that situation. On the beginning of the second minute, the score goes Dallas 1, Vancouver 1. Vancouver recovers. They push forward into the offensive line, and the ball gets stopped by Dallas goalkeeper. The ball goes back into Dallas defensive line. The ball is heavily contested there on the goalkeeper area. Nobody managed to make a clearance, and it is recovered on the center of the field by Vancouver's line. Vancouver is pushing for the offensive. But Dallas makes a ball move there and manages to snatch the ball back. Dallas pushes forward into the center of the field. The ball is airborne, and it is set loose and pushes back towards the offensive line. Dallas defenses recover. And Dallas shoots right from the middle of the field. They did that shot, and it was a clear occasion of goal. It was miraculously stopped by Vancouver's goalkeeper. And is heavily contested by the Dallas center line and their own center line. Ball is set loose, and Vancouver recovers it to the offensive line. They shoot, and the ball gets stopped by Dallas goalkeeper. Ball is recovered by Dallas goalkeeper once again. And the ball goes threatening into Vancouver's defensive line. The ball was stopped, and it was shot by Dallas offensive line, but almost by a miracle as well, it did not go inside the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper. The ball is set once again loose on the center of the field, and is recovered by Vancouver. It is pushed forward into the offensive line. Oh, but it's taken back, and that was something unprecedented and unclear as well. Nevertheless, the ball is still on the move, and Dallas pushes forward into the offensive line. Oh, they have a clear shot. The ball was heavily contested between Dallas' offensive line and Vancouver's goalkeeper, but in the end, Vancouver's goalkeeper manages to snatch the ball for themselves and to stop what could have been a clear occasion of a goal. It is not clear what's happening on the field, but it seems the players are taking an stance that is slightly too aggressive. The ball goes back into Vancouver's offensive line. and is being cleared into the offensive line. And Dallas takes a stance there. The goalkeeper cannot handle the ball, but the defensive line manages to make a clear of it. Dallas recovers the ball in the center of the field, trying to push into the offensive line. The ball is heavily contested in the center of the field. Vancouver pushes forward into the offensive line. Dallas falls back and manages to take back the ball from the offensive line. Yeah. Player seems to be falling into the field on a constant basis. Vancouver offensive line manages to make a shot, and it almost was the goal. It was something that needed to be narrated after it happened, because it was uncertain if it was a goal or not. That's how close it was. But Dallas goalkeeper manages to blotches of goal, and the ball goes back into the center of the field. Dallas takes the ball back. But Vancouver recovers and pushes forward towards the offensive line. Is heavily contested on the center of the field. And Dallas pushes forward into the offensive line. They shoot. Oh, and it is a stop there, made by Vancouver's goalkeeper. It was a definitely good triangulation. The ball goes into the center of the field, and players keep falling in that field. Dallas takes control of the ball, pushes into the offensive line, but the ball is set loose. Oh, and goes into the hands of Vancouver's goalkeeper. The ball is set in motion. It is heavily contested by Vancouver's middle line. and taken back by Dallas middle line. It is pushed forward by Vancouver's offensive line, but it is stopped by Dallas goalkeeper. And we have a kickoff. Vancouver takes control of the ball in the center of the field. And Dallas recovers. Dallas pushes to the center of the field and goes into the offensive line. The ball is heavily contested, but Dallas is one-on-one against the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper manages to catch the ball. Well, closing in on the 6th minute, what do you think will happen? Well, it seems the game is heavily contested, and the only reason why a changing will be made at this point in the moment would be to gain an upper hand. So I believe that Vancouver is going to be the first one into making this first move. And who do you reckon will enter the field? Who do you think will come? Who do you think will go? Well, so far, I believe it will be Goma entering. Goma entering. And most certainly, even though Heaney has been doing a good job, I think. Heaney? So it seems you were right. Closing in on the last quarter of the first time, Vancouver has just allowed Goma to enter the field. Goma. Seeing how they made this first change now, and on the last of the first, on the last time, this may give them an advantage, a surprise advantage. The surprise factor, sort of. But the substitution, I believe the substitution won't be effective until the next throw in, and that gives them some time still to set one last play in motion to lower Dallas defenses. So let's see what happens. Oh, Vancouver takes the ball in the center of the field. Dallas recovers for their team, and the ball gets heavily contested. Vancouver pushes forward into the offensive line, but their advances are stopped there, and Dallas recovers the ball. Vancouver recovers the ball. And they push forward into the offensive line. But the ball gets stopped by Dallas goalkeeper. It seems now the substitution will be made available and Goma will be entering the field. Let's see if on the remaining time the strategy works out, the strategics works out, and Dallas is surprised inadvertently. The ball was airborne there, and a clear occasion of goal was almost happened. A clear occasion of goal almost happened, but since it was so uncertain of what will happen, the tension was building up on that airborne ball. The ball is now being contested on Dallas defensive line, and Vancouver shoots and scores. That was a goal by Goma. No, actually, it seems the substitution was not made yet, and with this goal made maybe by Heaney, the substitution is made effective now. So Goma enters for Heaney now. And what a way to enter! Just about entering to celebrate that goal. Replay on that. It was a ball being contested on the defensive line, and even though from our perspective the shot was may not have a clear side, Vancouver took advantage of it, took their chance, and they managed to make a goal out of it, right from the corner of the goalkeeper. We're closing into the 7th minute of game. The score goes Dallas 1, Vancouver 2. And what can we expect with the entry of Goma now? Well, if Dallas had a more or less clear idea of what was happening on the field, this may throw all their predictions down. So it may take some time for them to get used to what is happening on the field, plus having to recover from that goal that they just suffered. Dallas takes control of the ball in the center of the field. And Dallas goalkeeper recovers. Dallas pushes forward from the center of the field towards the offensive line, but they're being stopped short by Vancouver's middle line and defensive line. Vancouver recovers for the center of the field, and they push forward, but the defensive line from Dallas regroups and stops that advantage. Dallas takes back control of the ball, pushes into the offensive line. They're unable to push forward on that with a clear group. Vancouver recovers and pushes into the center of the field. Dallas recovers. The ball is heavily contested nonetheless. It is a loose ball, it can be anyone's now. Vancouver recovers. Pushes forward into the offensive. Dallas recovers for their team. But the ball continues to be heavily contested on the center of the field. And the ball goes into the goalkeeper's area, into Dallas goalkeeper's area. The ball is set loose, and Vancouver recovers on the goalkeeper area. They shoot, but Dallas manages to make a miraculous stop, even though they were one-on-one. We are entering now the extra time. Little time available. That does it for the end of the first half. Score being Dallas 1, Vancouver 2. End of the first half. What do you think will happen with both teams? Well, after Vancouver making that last minute, not because it was improvised or anything, but because Vancouver made that many changes into their alignment and into their playing. Nevertheless, they are probably going to be benefited by the resting of one of their defenses. So it might be so that do you think they will go for a more offensive approach, or will they just refresh their line? They may go for a more offensive approach. Take that result and fall back. If they are bright, they are going to let L bright. So that's your prediction. L bright for N Morris. Yes, exactly. L bright for N Morris. And with the substitution, the recent entering of Goma, then that makes it for two of their available substitutions. So Bright and Goma will be Vancouver substitutions for the first half altogether. And what do you think will happen with Dallas? With Dallas lineup? Well, Dallas is facing a much more difficult situation, seeing that they were taken by surprise on that goal probably, and they definitely need some changing in their alignment if they are planning to survive this second half. So if you ask me, I believe they will make way for Marcos, and even though it may be a strange decision, seeing that Southgate is more into the, but they really need someone to recover those balls on the center of the field. But for their forwards, they're probably going with Wallen, G. Wallen, to enter substituting. Yes, definitely. G. Wallen will be entering substituting en masse. And what we mentioned before, L. Southgate will be entering substituting en Marcos. So Wallen and Southgate entering for Dallas. That's your prediction for this next half? Yes, certainly. Wallen and Southgate. And on the other side of the field, we had the entering of Goma before the end. And what was the other substitution again? The entering of Goma on that last half of the last quarter of the first half, and we can expect an equally Bright, of course. The entering of Bright, it's clearly a Bright move. So Wallen and Southgate enter for Dallas, and Bright, Wallen and Southgate for Dallas. An intense second half. So don't go away, because the action is just about to start right now. Entering this second half, the score goes Dallas 1, Vancouver 2. And the ball is set in motion. Dallas is taking an aggressive stand. Seems they're having a better time recovering those balls in the center of the field now. The ball is pushed back into the hands of Dallas goalkeeper. The ball is set in motion and Dallas recovers on the center of the field. Back into the offensive line, they shoot. And the ball goes into the hands of Dallas goalkeeper. Still a fairly dangerous situation. I doubt Dallas will be very happy with what's happening right now. The ball is heavily contested and it seems that the substitutions made by Vancouver are playing as well because their offensive line is as strong as ever. Vancouver recovers, pushes forward, and Dallas managed to make a stop. But the ball still lingers dangerously on the defensive line, on Dallas defensive line. The ball gets stopped by Dallas goalkeeper. Vancouver pushes forward into the offensive line. Dallas manages to make a stop. Dallas goalkeeper takes a decision and clears out the ball. And Dallas takes the ball into the offensive line. They shoot. And the ball is stopped by Vancouver's goalkeeper, but it is still airborne. Nevertheless, it gets cleared out by Vancouver's defensive line. And the ball goes back into the middle of the field. Dallas recovers in the middle of the but the goalkeeper from Vancouver goes to the ball and grabs it. Oh, Vancouver shoots! And he gets stopped by Dallas goalkeeper. Ball is still on motion and Dallas recovers in the center of the field. Vancouver recovers and pushes forward into Dallas defensive line. But Dallas manages to cut that advance, and though the ball is still contested on the lower half, whoa! Vancouver there for a clear occasion of goal. A headshot barely missed. Ball goes back into the center of the field. The ball goes into Vancouver's offensive line, into Vancouver's defensive line, but it is stopped by Vancouver's goalkeeper. A clear push made there by Dallas' offensive line. And Dallas sends it back into Vancouver's offensive line. Vancouver recovers. But Dallas continues pushing there. Dallas takes the ball into the offensive line. They shoot. But the advancement in Vancouver's offensive line. Dallas defensive line recovers and takes it into the middle of the field. Dallas, a goalkeeper stops the advancement and grabs the ball for himself and his team. Dallas recovers and pushes into the offensive line. Vancouver takes the ball into the offensive line, but the advancement is stopped by Dallas' goalkeeper. The ball is heavily contested in the center field. And it goes into Dallas, and they score. No, they didn't. That was an beyond miraculous stop done by Dallas goalkeeper. More perspective, that goal went into that goalkeeper. Ball continues to get heavily contested in the center of the field. And Dallas pushes forward. But the reception is done by Vancouver's goalkeeper. Ball gets cleared out. And Dallas recovers. but the advancement is stopped by Vancouver's middle line. Dallas takes the ball into the defensive line. Dallas takes the ball into the defensive line. Oh, an airborne almost created a situation there. Dallas pushes forward, and the ball gets stopped by Vancouver defensive line. Oh, but Dallas recovers once again. Nevertheless, they're having a very difficult time going past that center field. Or rather, not the center field, but that last line of defense, the defensive line. Nevertheless, how are you seeing all the substitution being made? Well, I feel that the substitution have made a bigger difference into the Vancouver, not a bigger difference, but a bigger payoff for Vancouver's lineup. So far, Dallas needs to be able to make use of substitutions that were made in order to transform them into results. Now Dallas pushes forward to shoot. The ball is set loose. They shoot again, but it is both stopped by the goalkeeper and the goalkeeper. They are not giving up though. Ball still on the area, and with 3 players from Vancouver stopping and 2 players from Dallas attacking, it has turned into a battlefield. One that is promptly stopped by Vancouver's goalkeeper. Yeah, they definitely don't want for that situation to escalate. Nevertheless, it was a tense one. It was something that it seems they were listening, and Dallas managed to make use of those substitutions as was mentioned before, and transformed it into that result that we just seen. Sadly though, for them, it is still not a result that can be measured numerically. But yeah, you were mentioning about how Vancouver's substitutions were playing out, right? Well, yeah, with the entrance of Ergoma and Bright, it seems that Vancouver is having an upper hand still. And though Dallas focused a lot on the entry and the renewal of the center field, they are still having trouble keeping control of the ball in that area, although not as much. So it can be clearly seen that at least in that part the substitution have played an important role. Still, they need to push forward right now into a goal. Oh, Dallas recovered in the center of the field, but Vancouver's defensive line stops them. Dallas takes the ball into the defensive area, but the ball is set loose. And the ball is set on the loose. It is recovered by Dallas offensive line. It is pushed forward into Dallas offensive line. The ball is taken by Vancouver on the last second. That was a struggle there. It could have gone either way because there was a participant from Dallas offensive line, a meter away probably, less than inches away, and into a goal. The ball is heavily contested on the center of the field, but it's being pushed forward into Vancouver takes the ball in the center of the field and pushes forward into the offensive line. Dallas recovers. Oh! Close situation there, but Dallas manages to make a full recovery in the defensive line and is looking to find their way forward up. Ball goes to Dallas in the center of the field. And they look forward to make an advancement there. It goes into the offensive line. Ball is being set loose on Vancouver's offensive field, but they manage to recover and push back. Dallas takes the ball back and pushes into the offensive line, but stopped there from the defense, manages to manages to slow the advancement. Nevertheless, Dallas managed to make their way into the offensive field, into the offensive line, and it was barely stopped by Vancouver's goalkeeper. Once again, from the perspective that we're standing, that didn't look. The report sure what was happening there. The ball is recovered by Dallas and it's being pushed towards the center of the field. Vancouver defensive line recovers, but the goalkeeper fails to. The goalkeeper cannot hold the ball, and the ball goes into the offensive field where Dallas offensive line manages to make the shot, but sadly it doesn't go inside the goalkeeper. Now, after clearing the ball from that area, Vancouver recovers in the center of the field. Dallas manages to make control of the ball in the defensive area. and Vancouver takes the ball back into the offensive. But Dallas defenses manages to make a miraculous stop there. The ball goes back into Vancouver's defensive line. Now moving forward the last 2 minutes of the game, what do you think will happen? Well, right now I don't think either team wants to break the dynamic of their team. Both are doing a very good job. And so I believe there may not be any further substitutions. Although if you ask me, I would probably say the goalkeepers may need substitutions because of the amount of stress that they're probably having to handle at the moment. The situations each second in a big while. Speaking of situations, Dallas just managed to make a goal there out of that situation. Since you were right about what you were saying, maybe if Vancouver had made the goalkeeper swap, the stress would have not gone into that happening. Nevertheless, it's slightly too late for them. And let's watch the replay on that. It arrived just after a clearing, but Dallas managed to make a push forward, and after a situation there on the defense area, Dallas managed to make that goal at the last minute, at the last second, on a small window of opportunity there, because the ball was about to be controlled by Vancouver's defenses. Well, nevertheless, closing in on the 14th minute, we are having the score now. 14 minutes, we have the score now of Dallas 2, Vancouver 2. And despite all of that, I doubt that there will be any changes made on the lineups, because as we were mentioning, the dynamics for each team is already set. So making a change now could potentially reset all that, or at least require a couple of moments to regroup or to re-enter the field, as to say. And I don't think any of the teams is willing to risk on that, to bet on that risk. So I doubt there will be any changes made by either team. It is all or nothing now. They're all or nothing. They're going all or nothing now with the cards they have, and neither of the teams are standing back. The ball goes into Dallas defensive line, and it's barely made a recovery there. and the ball gets thrown out of the defensive line. Barely made a stop there by Dallas goalkeeper. Vancouver pushes forward though, and the ball goes into the offensive line. Vancouver tries to make a goal on that situation, but it is stopped by Dallas offensive line. Dallas recovers the ball in the center of the field. And we are closing in on our last minute of game. Dallas pushes forward into the center of the field. What has happened in these last minutes is that Dallas has been taking a broader control of the ball in these last minutes. Vancouver needs to regroup fast if they want to take control of the situation again, because this is very what happened before, where Vancouver had the control of the center of the field mostly. It seems the changes have been giving results, and though Vancouver still stands strong, and their defensive line is still strong, and they have lost a lot of presence in both the center of the field and their offensive line. They still have their occasions, but they're not as usual as they used to be before, and they need to recover that if they want to make a goal. Otherwise, the score might just end up just the way it is right now. The ball is being heavily contested on Dallas defensive line. It even required for Dallas goalkeeper to go into the corner field to stop a situation from further increasing. Oh, Vancouver pushes forward. And Dallas goalkeeper managed to make a stop there. Oh, but the ball still on loose, and Vancouver takes the ball on the offensive line. The ball is sent to one of the corner sides, but it is still being contested, and Vancouver shoots, and Dallas managed to make a last minute stop there. That was indeed one of the most dangerous situations that have been created in the whole game. So big congratulations to both teams over there, because that was, oh wait, this is still not over. The ball goes into Vancouver's defensive line this time. Nevertheless, even though surprises happen in the last seconds, we are now closing in into the extended time. into the second half, extended time, and the probability that the score changes are somewhat minimal right now. But as we were mentioning before, the occasions were clear, and we have entered the time added on right now. Still with the score Dallas 2, Vancouver 2. And as we were mentioning, the occasions were very tense. Time has just been completed and the score for the game ends on Dallas 2, Vancouver 2. Both teams have been given the best of them, and I don't think any of them will be feeling bad with the result that was accomplished. The score summary goes into goals for Martin, Heaney, Armstrong, and Martin again. So it was Heaney the one that made the goal just before the substitution took place. And what can you tell me about the game stats? How has it been thus far, numerically speaking? Well, we both know the score. Dallas has had a lot more saves, and it can be on Vancouver having more shots on goal, but not many more. The possession of the middle field is mostly equal. Vancouver having just a little bit more, and as we were mentioning, that was a little before these last minutes. And the last minutes, Dallas managed to take a lot of presence on the middle field, on the center of the field, and it may have been because the substitutions that were made started taking place, started making a difference. But whatever the situation may have happened, it was a very good game. It was a very good game for both teams, and as I'm mentioning, I think neither one of them is going to have any problems with that end result. Okay, and that also will be everything for us right now. It's been a pleasure having this experience with all of you, and I hope you have enjoyed this game as well, and the previous match as well. Both of them excellent matches, both of them very good matches, both of them had the teams giving their best and an awesome performance. And that will be all for our fifa97 transmission for the moment. Hope you have enjoyed both matches. Well, right now we are also ending. Nevertheless, stay tuned because we are about to do a wrap up on the whole session, on the whole season. This season with that started some time ago. But stay tuned, we will do the wrap up over there in about a couple of minutes, maybe like 10 or 20 while we do all the changes, but don't go away. It's been a pleasure having everyone here, so we'll be right back.